Hello, my name is Luisa Reyes, and today we're going to talk about immortality. So, can you imagine waking up one day and realizing that you have not aged since you were 21? That you've not been sick for over a century? Or can you picture growing up and knowing your whole life that you're different? And that once you reach a certain age, well, your body will stop aging. That your organism will be frozen, you won't have wrinkles again, and you'll be young forever. Is it possible to imagine that in a handful of years, everyone that you knew and loved would have died? Do you think you can live with that? And if so, when will immortality become a reality? And is it one that we will be able to handle? I don't know about you, but I think it's crazy to think that in a couple of years, due to medical advances, we could be living in a world in which immortality is purchasable. The world keeps advancing, and to be honest, we don't know if those advances are going to help humankind or not. But we do know that someday within the next 3 decades, it will be possible to stop aging. And this is probably the best news we've gotten today. It is definitely the best news I've gotten, because to me, the idea of immortality is very attracting. It's very positively portrayed in the media, and we always see it as something good. But it's only recently that I've realized that a life like this might be tormenting. Other people that are young, like myself, probably think it's amazing, and it's largely due to the fact that the media always sees it as something possible. What is sad is that our immortality won't be anything like Dr. Manhattan, He gets to fly and go to another planet. It won't be anything like Nicholas Michelson's either. He's a vampire who lives his life belonging to some of the most prestigious European monarchies. And then he just settles down in New Orleans and he continues to live his lavish lifestyle. Hey, but don't be fooled. I think we all know that by the time immortality is available, only the wealthiest people will be able to afford it. So, do you think immortality would create or reinstate a system that allows the rich to keep getting richer while the poor stay where they are? We have to keep in mind that the richest 1%, who own half of the world's wealth, would be the only ones who can afford it at first. This would probably cause chaos to unleash within our society. It's very similar to this 2011 movie called In Time, in which the least fortunate, the part of the population, they reach their maximum lifetime in 37 years, but the wealthiest part, they have 1,000 years left to live. And they're constantly getting more time to live. So, is this where we're headed towards? How about we look at it from a hypothetical world? One in which very few humans are born immortal, and this makes them special. It makes them hunted, probably wealthy, and perhaps even the loneliest people to inhabit the world are these mortals. Or can we view it by taking our current society and planet as a vase? So first, we start seeing the mind and the body as different things. It's almost like we're detaching them. And then that eventually translates into a future in which, I don't know, we're all robots. There's another prospect to explore though, and this is by perceiving the human body as a system. It's a system, a machine that can be rewired and fixed at any given moment. So let's look back at the first option. What if we lived in a society in which 1 in every 5,000 children was immortal? This would mean that out of the 3,978 children born in the United States last year, about 600 would be immortal. How would a society like this look? To what degree would our society change? Would we be scared or fascinated by these people? Would they make their immortality public, or would they hide it? And what psychological effect would this have on the children? So you're born immortal, and when you're 19, you have to take the greatest decision of your life. You will find a way to experience everything you can with those that are close to you within the next 2 years. Once that time is over, you're officially immortal, and you will have to walk away from everyone and everything that represented your normal life. It's a decision that you take thinking that it will be easier to separate what was from what will be. It's much easier to live with a somewhat free conscience than to suffer a loss little by little. So you go on with your life, and you, like many other immortal people, live not knowing what to do. You know there's times for everything, but since immortality is rare, you're hunted. What will you do next? So, taking a look back, it probably would have been better to end your life before you're doomed. You think it's unimaginable that there are people who want to be immortal, to live with such an unbelievably large burden. But there's people like Hans Maverick, a cognitive robotics professor who believes that at some point we will live on as machines, deserting our body and creating total separation of body and brain. According to him, humans would have their brain become electronic systems and they'd live on as computers. But then, if this does come true by the year 2030, which is when the technology will be available, could we still say that it is possible to exist as humans? Since the only part of us that would be left living is a brain, and a hardwired one, our minds would be kept on living and thinking for who knows how long, only to be kept as hardware. Anyhow, why should you care about immortality? You probably won't live long enough to experience it, right? Well, immortality will certainly affect the current generation of young people and the generations that follow it. A lot of problems would be solved, but many more created. You know that older people are usually regarded as wise. This would probably help the world. Having a society of people who have lived for more than 200 years would create a more conscious community. Issues as climate change and racism could end, but then again, in our current society, it's the oldest people who are still close-minded and find themselves incapable of accepting people from a different race, religion, genre, etc. On a more pessimistic note, if we keep destroying the planet at an incredibly fast rate for the sake of capitalism, and we're all mortals, imagine the damage we could cause as deathless creatures. You're not born special, but you still want to be a vampire or warlock and live for more years than intended. And after exploring the option proposed by Dr. Hans Maverick, you decide it's not for you and come across a scientist who believes that aging should be not slowed down, but stopped. His name is Dr. Aubrey de Grey, and in the following phrase he explains his outlook on the immortality debate. People have this crazy concept that aging is natural and inevitable. And I have to keep explaining that it's not. The human body is a machine with moving parts, and like a car airplane, it accumulates damage throughout life as a consequence of normal operation. Dr. Aubrey Gray is certain that there are ways to reverse the damage that is done to a feeble body due to aging, repairing the tissues that get worn out over time by using regenerative therapies. This would leave a person as good as new, and they will be able to live as if they were young again. Sadly, none of us were born immortal, so we might have to wait until scientists release all the methods that they've been getting research on. Once these are out in the market, we'd probably be convenient to check your bank account and hope that it's very full. When you can access a couple hundred years, you'll probably be able to be immortal forever, because humans advance, and with us, so do the sciences, arts, and humanitarian aspects of the Homo sapiens. So once the first couple bunch are running out of life, there will certainly be enough technological and scientific advances to keep them living forever. You've been 21 for the last 2,049 years. And during the first 5 centuries of your life, you did everything that could be done. So for 1,549 years, your life has been monotonous and boring. And that morning, as you get ready for the day, you start looking for a way to end your life, having already gone through everything that could have gone through, and years of just existing and not living.